to set it off is to get it off. But you know, it's been a while since I've been at you guys, and nothing's changed with me. Basically, you know, I'm still honing my skills every day, looking for that big dick, whether it's wrapped up in some jeans, shorts, underwear, what have you. So, it's the Fallophiliac back at you. Last time was left a message around May of '08. I really didn't think anyone was paying attention to the channel. It really wasn't my intention to get anyone to pay attention to the channel. It was just for me, you know, to be able to get certain thoughts out, you know, related to big dick politics issues and, you know, all the things that how I see it, not how and how I perceive others may see it, that sort of speak. In this video, rather in this audio, I don't intend to pick up exactly where I left off, even though, you know, I reviewed the videos and I know where I left off at, but, you know, I just want to spout some random, you know, verbiage out to you. You know, things big dick related, like, I know, you know, personally that Sam Cassell, retired NBA player, is on the very extremely well endowed side. This was confirmed by a groupie and a fellow player or two that played and showered with him, and other people who have were privy to seeing practice sessions while he was in the league. Also, there were many sightings. You know, once I was walking down, I live in a very big city, very public city, a lot of tourist spots, and people from all over the country come. And there was this guy in his country's colors. He had on a soccer shirt, or what they call football, and then he had on some biker shorts in the same color. And he was with his wife, who was walking maybe 2 to 3 steps behind him. This guy had his chest puffed out for good reason. He was very well endowed. His dick was hanging to the side, pretty much supported by his thigh, and his nuts were pushing up his dick. He was very thick and long, and you could tell that it was no padding, and he was in a soft state. I couldn't, you know, tell if he was totally relaxed, but the size that he was and represented was, you know, a very healthy, flaccid penis. And people who got a glimpse of it, some were very pleased, others were a little bit offended. But it was just one of those times I wish I could have doubled back and grabbed a picture of it, and so to speak. Um, and very, very big dick. Then there was another sighting of a guy in front of prominent baby store, having some nicely fitting black compression shorts. And this guy, he was on a short, he was a shorter guy, compact body, and he knew that he had a big dick, and he liked for people to look at it. So me being who I am, I naturally made sure he saw that I was very impressed at his penis size. And the reason being is because I don't want these guys to feel as though that what they're doing is offending anyone. I want them to know that their work doesn't go unnoticed and it is appreciated by those of us, such as myself, who, you know, I would love to see a lot more men, especially men with bigger dicks, wear much closer fitting pants and shorts in the crotch area, similar to the way they would show off their muscles in a shirt, or a shirtless shirt to show off their arms, or a half shirt to show off their abs, much akin to a woman who figures she has really nice legs will wear a short revealing mini skirt, or if she really is proud of her cleavage or likes the attention that her cleavage gets, that she will wear a nice fitting top. Um, there are men out there who want you to know that they have a big dick, but they can't just go out and say, hey, I got a big dick, I got a big dick. They try to do it on a certain level to whereas, hey, I'm just dressed, this is me, and this is just how it is, so um, I have a really big penis, and this is the type of clothes I wear. And those are the guys, they really enjoy other people, whether it's male or female, to admire their junk. And they go home, I'm sure, and they think about it and enjoy the imagery of, people seeing them in various states of flaccidity, especially when they're hung. Somehow, in the near future, I really hope that the legging craze that the women are going through comes over to, the guy side, where you have a guy that wants to show all his meat, basically, especially if he has really large testicles and a large dick. Because when you have the two together, it's just pretty much, the old 1-2, as opposed to like you can have extremely large balls and people will think that you're hung, but then they come down to it, they realize it's just a bunch of balls. Even though I'm not taking away from guys with big balls, but when you have the both of the best of both worlds, you can't compete. And I'm sure there's quite a few guys that would mind having their penis extraordinarily much larger than their nuts, if that was possible, instead of the opposite, where they would rather have much bigger nuts than their penis. Because all of this is big penis politics, not big ball politics. It's all about the length, the thickness, the flaccidity, and the erection, Um, I really do wish that type of dress would carry itself over as opposed to when we had, the super baggy, super saggy pants that a lot of the youth were wearing where, it looked real ragged and unkempt and things like that, as opposed to, where you would see the shape of a extremely large penis here and there with guys either, going about his business or whatnot, like you would occasionally, you see a woman in very tight-fitting pants. I often thought and contemplated, like, what would it have been like to have been a correctional officer, whereas you got to oversee, the intake of the inmates. You don't have to police them while they're doing their time, but just the influx of the convicts. Because I read on a few pages about a guy who, he was a correctional officer and how they were comparing dick sizes between the races and whatnot, which I don't really care to get into because it's all people are people. Nonetheless, I remember reading a comment that he wrote that he had saw a guy who came through intake that was unseemly the size of his dick. And this is coming from a guy who sees new dicks at least once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, and he sees them by the 20s, scores, and maybe even to the hundreds. And to be able to wow a correctional officer, to not even to be wild, but then to have him comment on a public forum on this guy's dick size. Can you imagine what that guy was holding between his legs? My God, I just think about how would that feel to, possess so much meat where whenever you're in a situation to where you're stripped down or your penis size is visible, the fucking self-esteem that it might have if you're not embarrassed by having such a large dick. Because I have known a few guys that were really embarrassed by it. But those that can take it in stride and appreciate what they have is something like really, really like sought after and, coveted. It's ridiculous, but can you imagine that? And I really, that thinking about that and reading that text, it would just make my dick get so hard wishing that I was in a position such as that to be able to, be able to compare and judge dicks as my pay. Taking a pause for the cause, Alphiliac.